It's okay to be spiritual, even if you're not religious, don't have any crystals to put under the moon, and don't have time to meditate.
Because that's when life gets fun, becomes fulfilling, and then you discover that it really is okay to be spiritual.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Views expressed are those of the hosts and guests' personal experiences. The information provided is not a substitute for professional advice, whether medical, legal, or otherwise.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Okay to be Spiritual. Hi, Laurie.
Hello.
Laurie's shuffling. We're finding our next topic. This episode's topic is: what are the places or activities that you didn't expect Spirit to guide you in or to?
Okay, Helen, what about you?
One of the places that surprised me the most was when I realized, I can't remember what I was learning, a new piece of software. I was sitting at my computer, at my desk, and I'm trying to learn this new software, and suddenly I realized that Spirit's guiding me as to which button to press and which, I think it might have been video editing or something like that. And when I'd be like, how do I do such and such a task? And then the button that I needed, to put the mouse on to click would just sort of become more attractive. I don't know. It was really weird, but I was like, oh man, Spirit's guiding me. Spirit's helping me. I didn't think this would ever happen.
But that's how it works too, right? People think a spiritual sign or guidance needs to be a big thing. It can just be sitting in that space and going, I didn't know I was meant to press that. Okay.
Yeah, but it also means to me, like, Spirit cares about our life, even cares about whether we can use software faster or easier or with less stressful. Like, what the?
Yeah. There's probably a lot of people behind desks at the moment wishing they had Spirit helping them get uni assignments done quicker, get reports out, get presentations done before deadlines.
Yeah, but it comes down to the art of listening. Don't you reckon?
Yes, I was just about to say, how do you think if someone is sitting there thinking, I need some spiritual help with this report, what do you think?
Learn to listen. That wasn't very helpful, was it?
No.
There's back when I was doing interviews on the More Love podcast, I interviewed Anne Olson. She's written a really beautiful book. I just can't remember the title of it now. But anyway, if anyone wants to, look up the episode with Anne Olson. Anyhow, she was talking about her journey to learning to listen because her book is channeled, and so she had to learn to listen really well. And she mentioned a book that she'd read, and it took me ages and ages to find it, but it's titled Listening by Lee Coit, and his surname is spelt C-O-I-T, and it's available through Amazon or something like that. But he tells the story of his spiritual awakening and needing to learn to listen, and he went on a trip to South America or somewhere, I can't remember. Anyhow, he was traveling and he had to learn to listen when the tire, when he got a flat tire in the dark in a place where he didn't know where he was, and he didn't know where a mechanic was, and he didn't know how to get help, and his phone went flat, and it's really a beautiful book.
So I have a story. Could be a long one. Are you ready?
Okay. Yep.
I'm
ready. I'm comfy.
You ready to hear my story? So we're talking about when Spirit's guided us. Yeah, so it's guided us in unexpected ways. So after I'd completed all my formal training for my kinesiology and my Reiki, I was looking for a space to do it in. And so I have a space on weekends, but I don't have one during the week. And I really wanted to do this. This is my sole purpose. This is my calling. I wanted to get out there. I wanted to get clients, and I wanted to just do what I could do. And one day a week was all I wanted, really. And so that's all I could fit in. And so Spirit had guided me to go to this meditation that was being held at a healing cottage just out of town. And I'm not sure how I even realized that was guidance, but it kept flicking up on my Facebook feed as an event, and it flicked up enough times, and I just had this little inkling that I had to go to that, and couldn't explain why. And that's generally how we know it's Spirit, not us, because it's not a thought I would have. I hadn't have ever thought to do that. It's probably not something I would do. It was on a Friday, and I normally am busy on Fridays, but I went and did it, and it was lovely. And then I came home, and a week or two later, that place then had a room for rent for someone who was a kinesiologist, or she was after a kinesiologist actually in particular, but any type of healing.
And you just finished your training.
And I just finished my training, and I just visited the cottage. So I knew the space. I could visualize what it was. I knew the woman's face who was running it. And so I rang her up, and she said she remembered me from the meditation, and she felt there was something about me. And we both had there's something in this. We were both guided in this relationship. And so I went out and we had a chat, and it sounded amazing, and it would have been a really good opportunity for me. Everything had lined up. I felt that spirit had guided me to everything that I was asking for. And then we had someone at work resign, which wasn't the end of the world, but obviously, we had to work out how we were going to manage that. My daughter had just started kindy, and I had 2 kids at school. So I was a little concerned that if she had a sick day or she couldn't go to kindy, I'm the primary carer in the home. So I would have to cancel clients or sports days or, just all the last things in it. It was her last year at kindy, and my priority is being a mum first and foremost. So there was a little niggle in the back of my head that maybe it was too soon to step into this, but I just wanted to do it so bad. And then so I asked Spirit for a sign. I said, if I'm not meant to go out there and it's not right for me right now, I want you to show me. And this is where listening intuitively comes in, because I would normally have gone a red balloon or a blue balloon, because I was very early on. I've evolved. And so I just said, show me, and then broken glass came in my head. And that's an unusual thing, right? Who asked for broken glass as a sign? And so then I didn't realize what was happening, but the next day I went to a lunch and I thought, if there's broken glass, someone's going to break a glass at the restaurant I'm at. And I thought, well, that's how it's going to come through, yada, yada. All right, so if someone breaks a glass at lunch, I don't take it. If a glass doesn't break, I had another sign. And so I went to this lunch, and I met this beautiful woman there, and she actually was the guest speaker, and she had said, I can't do this justice, but something along the lines of, I will get ahead in life because I'm prepared to eat broken glass.
Oh.
And what an unusual way for that to come through,
what
right?
An unusual expression.
Yeah, because she was just able to crunch through it and to swallow it and to get on with it and get the job done, right?
That's a horrible thought.
It is. And she is very tough and an amazing woman who, takes on a lot and does a lot and has a lot of heart. But, that was something that she said. And as soon as she said it, my whole body just went, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? Is that how you're delivering this sign? And so I didn't question it. I'm like, if it's coming through in this scenario, it wasn't a piece of broken glass on the ground. If that's really what you're doing here, I will trust you 110%. And so I messaged the woman and I just said, look, it's just not right now. And then that night at 3 a.m., I had a knock on the door.
What?
So
3 a.m.?
Everyone's fast.
Who answers the door at 3 a.m.?
That's what my husband said. He's like, why did you just answer the door without any question? And I just knew. I knew there was something bigger going on. And so there's a knock on the door at 3 a.m. Everyone's fast asleep. My husband doesn't wake up. Thanks. No worries. I'll get the door. So I figured he's knocking for a reason, right? Like there must be some concerning thing happening. And I opened the door willy-nilly. I felt like it was okay. And when I walked past the clock, it was 3 a.m. and the spirits always come through very strongly in those early hours of the morning. So I just knew as I was walking to the door, I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel unsafe. I knew it was all okay. I opened the door and, something else has just dropped in with this story. Anyway, and so I opened the door and he's standing there and he says, is that your car out front? And I said, yeah, that was the work ute we brought home. He said, I just wanted to let you know you left your lights on.
A courtesy policeman at 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m. I wanted you to know you left your lights on because I didn't want you to wake up and not go where you needed to go.
Is that what he said?
Yep. Yep.
That was an unusually quiet night in Toowoomba.
Yeah. It was very quiet, obviously. So Spirit sent him to my door to confirm that the broken glass, trusting in that, was all for a bigger reason because I needed to go somewhere and that wasn't the direction I needed to go.
What were his words again? I didn't want you to go. No, I wanted you to be able to go
get to where you needed to go the next day. I didn't want you to, get up for work and not be able to go where you needed to go.
Wow, what a story.
What a story. And by this time, my husband's like, what's going on? And I'm like, it's fine. He's gone. What happened? Like, nothing. It's just a message from spirit.
Oh, by the way, can you go turn the lights out on the ute?
You need to fix the ute.
It's going to have a flat battery in the morning and I don't need to drive it. So,
and I'm going somewhere else. So it's your problem. But then so I'm like, there's more to this story. So I get on my socials and I'm like, what else are you going to pull through? Anyway, there was an AFI song called Love Like Winter. And so I'm like, right.
Look at your spirit guides don't need to sleep.
No, none of us sleep. We're very busy in the early hours. And so then I just went through and this Love Like Winter really hit and June. Whatever it is happens in June, and that's how it works for me. And I just knew. And then I only just realised now. And then the building manager came in probably around June, July. The same thing had happened in the garage. Oh, you've left your lights on. And that was around the time we were talking about podcast.
This podcast?
Yeah.
Aww.
So I think if I was out there, we wouldn't be here.
Well, you might not have gone to the spiritual fair.
I wouldn't have. And I wouldn't have read cards. And I just would have done kinesiology because that's what she was after. And I wouldn't have ever have stepped into my cards at the depth that I read them now and would never have gone to spiritual fair. Yeah. Which was May. So that's close enough to winter. It all adds up in my head. And that's all that matters really, right? Yeah. I think I know what I'm doing.
Core message, stay out of Laurie's head. Yeah. How would you say guidance feels in a nutshell?
So it's unusual. It's not maybe a path you would have taken, but it seems like it's a path you should go down. Like stepping into the uncomfortable. When the police knocked on my door, I just intuitively knew it was okay. There's a lot of knocks and break-ins in this area. So I just knew it wasn't that. So I think it's that intuitive knowing, and the only way to do that is to work with your intuition.
So to practice listening.
Yeah.
Now we're back to the start of the conversation.
Yeah, we are. And to practice listening and how it feels and just little things. So if you just want to know, should I go to the Gold Coast or the Sunshine Coast for the weekend? Like if it matters, you'll get a choice. If it doesn't, but if there's one or the other and it's obvious, you'll feel it.
Yeah, but you don't have to practice on such big things either. Like I often get practice when I'm loading the washing machine.
Oh, how? A washing machine?
I know, right? It's
you
weird.
You think I'm weird.
So I'll be loading the washing machine, putting the clothes in, and I'll get this like little nudge. Look behind the door, or go and have another look in the washing basket, or just something. And then if I ignore it, I always find the thing that should have been in that load of washing.
Oh, you're a sorter. You sort colours.
Oh, you don't sort colours?
God, no.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't have time for this.
My clothes.
But do you know what I do? I always think I've left the hair straightener on. I leave the house and I'm like self-testing, like, did I leave the hair straightener on? Yes or no?
Who has time to straighten their hair? Not me.
Priorities.
Anyway, spirit will talk to you in places you don't expect, like when you're loading the washing machine or trying to learn new software or driving in an area you don't know. Or just it can be, spirit guides me when I'm making curries. How much spice to put in and which spices to blend. So allow those moments to come through even when you think spirit really probably wouldn't care about this.
Yes.
Spirit cares about everything we do.
And any connection you can make with spirit, they're just cheering you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's asking us, finally, we can't wait. We've been waiting for this day. Let's start in the kitchen. Like she's always there. Let's start there. Or, I get them hanging out, washing, vacuuming, driving the car.
Vacuuming?
Yeah, I vacuum.
That's not what I meant. What does spirit tell you when you're vacuuming?
Oh, I get song lyrics often.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll get a song.
So like, don't vacuum there, you dropped your earrings?
No. So that's the other thing. Mine will be more like lyrics to a song. So when I was putting the dishes away the other day, spirit was talking to me in a new way. And so this is new for my connection with my clairaudience. And I heard, throw your arms around me.
Is it a hunters and
collectors? And so normally I would hear the tune in my head, or I'd wake up with the tune in my head. But this time it was literally just the words, throw your arms around me. And I wasn't thinking about anything. That's not a song I would.
Sorry, Lucas.
Yeah. Look, I've worked on my hugging ability, but I don't really ask for people to throw their arms around me. And so it just popped in my head, and it feels like that's not my thought. I didn't think that. Someone's either sending me a message, or it's my spirit team just checking in on how we're communicating and just giving me a little piece
or a little time to practice.
And then I instantly just went, oh, that's that Hunters and Collectors song. That's really popular. Didn't really think much of it. And then the song dropped in a week later. And then I was thinking, this is what they were giving me a heads up about. And it all made sense. So it does make sense at some point.
Yep. And spirit cares in all aspects of our life because it's all loving.
It is.
Thanks for the long story.
Yeah, long story, Soz. But a cool story, right?
A great story. So until the next episode.
We'll catch you then.
Bye for now.